Welcome everyone. So today we are moving beyond just entering data into cells, because last time we are discussing about on how we can enter the data and on how we can edit and do some formattings. So today we are going to learn how to make Excel think for us. So whether you are tracking a budget, managing a team, or analyzing research, so there are formulas and functions that are mostly used. So by the end of this session, you'll be able to automate some of the repetitive tasks and find some insights in your data instantly. So I know many of us, we have ever felt frustrated because a formula just wouldn't work. Yeah, so it happens. So today we are going to discuss about the formulas. First, let's get our vocabulary straight. What is a formula? So basically, a formula is just an equation that you write manually. For example, for a formula, an example for formula can be: we want to find a total for this student. So we are going to add 70, 80, 55, and 90. So, but the Excel, if you want to punch in a formula, then we are going to say is equal to, take note that each and every equation or each and every function or a formula is supposed to start with an equal sign. So in this formula, we are starting with an equal sign. Then we're going to say is equal to, we have 70, which is in B3. So we talked of cell references last time. So cell references, the importance of cell references is used in the formulas, because when we say B3, we are telling the Excel to say we want the value that is in B3. So that's the address. So 70 is in B3, and we are going to say plus C3 plus D3 plus E3 plus F3. So that's the formula. So when we press enter, we are going to get the total. So that's the formula. Whereas a function is a built-in shortcut that the Excel provides. Is a built-in shortcut that the Excel provides. For example, the same calculations that we have done with the formula, you can do it with a function. So a function could be is equal to, so we have sum, open brackets. So sum is the built-in function, because once we say sum, it's like we are telling the Excel to say add the following numbers. So we are telling the Excel to say add the following numbers from B3 to, so 2, we put colon to indicate the range of the numbers. 2 colon represents 2, so 2, and we are going to put the cell reference of the last number within the range. So the last number is on F3. So you see, it has highlighted the range that we are adding, or the range that we want the sum of. Then close brackets. So when we press enter, we are going to get the same answer as we got in the first place. So that's the difference between the formula and the function. A formula, we type it manually, or you take sense out of your mind, then you type it as what you want it to be like. So the function, on the other hand, is a built-in shortcut that the Excel provides. For example, when we say sum, it means we are telling the Excel to say, can you add this range of numbers? So for you to copy this, for you to do this, because we are expected to do the same to the other candidates. So for us to do that, we are not going to type the function in each and every cell, but we are just going to copy and paste. So the easiest way of copying and pasting, in this case, you go to the bottom where there is this, then you find this plus. Once that plus appears, then you double click. Once you double click, you are going to get the total of everything. So when you look at this, when you click, for example, here and look at the formula up there, it is highlighting the range that they have added. So the same here, it is going to be the same. So it is not like just because we copied from this candidate, it is not going to show the sum of the first candidate, but it is showing the range of the respective sums. So that's the beauty of using cell references, because if we were to use the actual numbers, for example here, if we were to say is equal to 70 plus 80 plus 80 plus 55 plus 90, we could have still gotten the 375. But that 375, if we were to try to copy it down, it would have brought 375, 375, 375, 375, 375 without differences. But when you type the cell references, when you copy the formula, chances are very high it brings the answers based on the next rows of cell references. So that's the beauty of using the cell references. So next we are going to say next understand we are going to get average. So average, we can do it using the average function or using the formula. So most of the times I like using formulas because it really represents what I want from my mind. So most of the time I just like typing formulas. For example here, for us to find an average, it means you are going to say is equal to this total divided by 5, because we have 5 entries. So because you have mathematics, English, agriculture, physics, biology, so we're going to say divide by 5. So we're going to say enter. Once we enter, then for us to copy that, we go here, then okay, you can go ahead, double click, or you can just reach there and left click and drop down. You're still going to get the same. So yeah, that's what we can do to work with the formulas or the functions. So we have some operators. For example, you have subtraction, you have division, you have multiplication. So depending on whatever you want to present, or depending on whatever you want to do, so you can manipulate the functions or the formulas accordingly. So in my case, I just wanted to find the average and the total. I understand that maybe next we are going to talk about the remarks. For example, if someone has scored above 50 everything, then that one is supposed to be written pass here. If someone has failed one of the subjects, it doesn't matter whether the average is above 50 or not, but that one has failed. So in that, for example, if you have a lot of data, chances are very high it will be hard for you to identify all of them. That's why Excel here we are going to learn how we can generate the automatic remarks based on the performances of the subject. So that will be discussed next. Please, if you are not following me, click subscribe and like, and put your questions in the comment sections. If you have any questions about Excel, if you are working in a certain project that you really need help, feel free, get in touch. Thank you so much.